Welcome in, everybody, to the Week 5 Commissioner's Address for Drunken Fumble 2025. We had lots of tight matchups this week and a couple of big blowouts and a couple of really high scores. The league median was really high this week. Let's jump right into the matchup, starting with Commish Prime taking on Big Fucking Anime TDs. Commish Prime with a huge win in this one by 52-ish points. And it was good. Emeka Ibuka leading the way with 31. Justin Fields with his third 25-point or more production of this young season. We are about a third of the way through the fantasy regular season, and Big Fucking Anime TDs at 2-8 will be looking to right the ship moving forward. 2-8 is not a great start. 7-3 for Commish Prime is a decent start. There's a few teams in the playoffs right now, quite a few actually, at 7-3. A lot of red numbers on Justin's side. Devontae Smith was decent for me. He had 8 catches for 114. Tyler Warren has been solid all season. Nothing huge, but he has been in the discussion for the top 3 tight ends in fantasy this year. Moving right along to She Love Phoenix When I Dick Her taking on Commissioner's Pity Prize. Casey moving back into the win column this week with 142 to 132 victory, 10-point spread, very tight. J.K. Dobbins has either a touchdown or 100 yards in every game this season. He has been solid. Pollard has been solid. Jefferson had a better outing, over 100 yards for him. And on the other side, Patrick Mahomes had 27 points in that loss to Jacksonville. If you guys saw the end, it was crazy. Trevor Lawrence got stepped on his own 1-yard line, tripped and fell, got it back up halfway, tripped and fell again, spun around and walked it in basically for the touchdown that allowed them to go ahead against Kansas City, dropping the Kansas City Chiefs to a 2-3 record. They'll be looking to right the ship when Rashee Rice comes back. On the other side here, New Orleans defense with 24 points. They had a touchdown against the G-Men, who had a bit of a tough day, and the Saints are going to get the win in that one. Kamara Chameleon taking on Laddies and Gentlemen. Laddies and Gentlemen with a win this week. Did not get the median win, but does get a win to improve to 2-8. Kamara Chameleon dropping to 4-6. Sam Darnold with 28 points. He was very good against Tampa Bay, but it was not enough as Baker Mayfield leads another fourth quarter drive for the victory. Kyron Williams was great for Rob on Thursday night with 31 points himself. He had 2 touchdowns, 8 catches, including 65 yards on the ground. Nico Collins was okay. He salvaged his day with a touchdown. And Josh Allen, a bit of a quieter day with 20 points. We expected him to be a little bit higher. And we expected the Buffalo Bills to beat the New England Patriots. They did not. We were also hoping that Josh Allen got into the end zone, as we would have hit our parlay that we all went in on. But I blame Rob and Ryan for making sure we did not cash out. We let it ride. Josh Allen let us down. And they also let down It's Mickey, who lost by 8 points, falling to a 4-6 record. Moving along to Chubb and My Butker taking on Bijan Maystord. It's not very often that I give Bitch of the Week to a winning team. And the reason Spencer is going to get it this week, despite winning 138 to 122, Spencer this week missed league median by 4 points. Last week, he missed league median by 1 point. The week before that, he missed league median by 8 points. He has been so close, and he could very easily have a 7-3 record. Instead, he is 4-6 on the outside of the playoffs looking in. Did come away with the heads-up victory this week, but neither of these teams are going to get the median win this week. Baker Mayfield, 26 points, like I mentioned, leading another fourth quarter drive. He was good for Eric, as was Cortland Sutton. And Dak Prescott with 28 points against the Jets, throwing for 4 touchdowns and adding 28 yards on the ground. Bo Nix was solid for Spencer with 17. And then Jamar Chase showed up, 6 catches for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns, making the most of his targets. The Bengals are struggling, though. They have signed Joe Flacco. He is going to be a little bit better about getting the ball out quick because he doesn't want to get hit, but with that O-line, he's going to get hit. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Hopefully that is an uptick for Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. For Spencer, of course, he does have Roma Dunze, who has been good, and he's going to have Rashee Rice coming back just at the right time here, getting into the second third of the season, trying to make a push back up into the playoff spot. Now, this is a pretty easy one. This was a high-scoring matchup. Fearboners had the highest losing score of the week. He had the second highest score of the week, so I guess that makes it easy. Infuse, Rob Brown Puka, with 218 points, one of the highest scores we've seen in our league ever. Now, is that the reason he's Superman of the Week? No, not exactly. Would it be enough to get him Superman of the Week? Yes, it would. But there's a few other things I want to point out about Jordan's team that makes him Superman of the Week. Not only did he have the highest score of the week, highest score of the season, highest score of the last several seasons, he is roughly 95 points ahead of the next best scorer in our league, which happens to be Fearboners. 95 point difference after 5 weeks. To put that in context, from Shane in second spot to Whiskey Jack in 11th spot for points for rankings, there's 105 points between those 10 players. And Jordan is in a league of his own. He's 95 points ahead of Shane. It is Jordan's league this year. We're all just living in it. The other thing I want to point out, our league record for points for in a season is 22.99. And at this rate, Jordan is going to beat that. He is on pace to set a league record that was set in 2020 by the very own Jesse Villette with 2,299 points. And Jordan is well on his way to beat that. He has, let me take a look here. He has 866 in 5 weeks. Let's take a look at the matchup. Jonathan Taylor with another 3-touchdown day. 31 points for him. Rico Dowdle, the pickup of the week, obviously, with 32 points of his own. He had 206 yards on the ground against Miami, who were up 17-0 at one point and found a way to lose the game. Miami is struggling. Puka Nacua has been solid with 24 points. Amon-Ra, 18, one of his lesser weeks. He did have 8 catches for 100 yards, but those two, Puka and Amon-Ra, have been so good for Jordan. Stephon Diggs with 24 points of his own. I just want to point out, if we were to do a redraft today, Jonathan Taylor and Puka Nacua would be 1 and 2, in my opinion. And Amon-Ra would be top 10. And he's got all 3 of them on his team. He's starting Dylan Gabriel in his quarterback position, and he's putting up 218 points. Helps as well that the Indianapolis Colts had 27. Not to shy away from a challenge, though, Fearboners with 181 points, a huge win. Will still get the league median victory. Of course, Williams for Dallas with 26 points, JSN with 27. Jake Ferguson with 23. He has, I think, the second most targets still on the season, behind only Puka Nacua, but it is close. Trevor Lawrence was great against Kansas City. He has been slinging the ball. They've been running the ball, and that defense has more turnovers than any other defense in the league this year. They are playing very, very well. So both of these guys with the median win. Rob Brown Puka improving to 8-2. Fear Boners will have to settle for the 7-3. Barclays Brock Hard taking on the waiver wire. Another tight matchup. Just over 8-point difference between them. Nick getting the victory here with 27 points from CMC, 18 from David Montgomery. Sometimes you don't know which weeks he's going to show up, if the game script is going to work for Detroit, but lately it's just been working everywhere because they're putting up a ton of points. Calvin Ridley finally had a good game despite only catching half of his targets. He had 131 yards, and it was good all around. CJ Stroud had a great game playing against Baltimore, who I don't know what is going on there. They are marred by injuries, and they started the season struggling. They are 1-4, which is crazy, as they were probably one of the favorites in the AFC to make it to the Super Bowl, probably top 3, if not higher than that. Barkley with 17 points has had a bit of a quieter season. He only had 6 carries in that game against Denver. They had a good lead against Denver, and Denver came back and won that one. So surprising to see the 4-0 Eagles fall to Denver, and the 4-0 Buffalo Bills falling to New England. Marvin Harrison with 13 points. Decent day from him. Sam Laporta finally coming through with 92 yards and a touchdown. And Jared Goff was solid. He's always been a better NFL player than he has been fantasy player, but with 20 points, that's a good day. But Nick is going to come away with the win, improving to 7-3, and Gus Bus falling to 3-7. Let's take a quick look at the standings here. In first place, all by himself at 8-2 with 866 points for Rob Brown Puka, our Superman of the week. Fearboners leads the 7-3 contenders, followed by Commish Prime, the waiver wire, Bijan Maystord in 5th. Casey with the median victory, just ever so slightly above Spencer this past week, will wrap up the final playoff spot if the league were to end today. Chubb and my Butker in the first place out of the playoff spots at 4-6, followed by She Love Penix When I Dicker, Chimera Chameleon, also at 4-6. Barclays Brock Hard at 3-7. You're basically 1 week out of a playoff spot. If you have a good week and these guys above you do not, you are close. Big Fucking Anime TDs has a little bit more to go at 2-8, and Lotties and Gentlemen still about 33 points behind the next best guy, and also sitting at 2-8. A big ladder to climb for Robbie D. Let's take a quick look at the matchups for week 6. I am taking on Fearboners, who has he's been playing good, and honestly this week I am playing for the league median. If I can get the league median win and just kind of limp along for these next couple of weeks until I get Hampton back, until I get George Kittle back, then I might be able to make a playoff push, but it's going to be tough slugging for me. We're both at 7-3 in second and third spot respectively, and it's going to be a good matchup, but right now it looks like Fajita has the edge. Then we have Commissioner's Pity Prize taking on Kamara Chameleon. This is set to be a close matchup. Casey just inside the playoffs and Mickey just outside the playoffs, so this is going to be a great matchup to keep an eye on. The winner of this one might be on the inside looking out, and the other one vice versa. Chubb and my Butker taking on the waiver wire. Spencer is going to look to put a couple of wins together this week to get back into a playoff position, and Nick is going to be pushing to maintain that good record. There are a few of us. There are 4 of us at 7-3. So it's going to be interesting to see which ones fall down this week and which ones do not. Ladies and gentlemen, taking on She Love Penix When I Dicker. Projected to be another tight matchup. Rob needs some wins, and Wade is on the outside looking in as well. So this is going to be a big matchup for you guys to try and build up some momentum going into this second third of the season. Barclays Brock Hard taking on Bijan Maystord. Bijan looking to get back into the win column. He is at 7-3, but has dropped 4 spots from last week, as he was in first and now he is in 5th. And Gus Bus needs to get some wins together as well. This is projected to be within 7. And then we have Big Fucking Anime TDs taking on Raw Brown Puka. This is a tall ladder to climb for Justin, but if he can beat Jordan, he will get back into the win column and build up some momentum. And Jordan is looking to stay atop in the league of his own. Best of luck to everybody. May your players stay healthy and ever unproductive. Commish out.